Hello students and welcome to SmartKidz tutorials. In this video, we will be covering the science model paper with MCQ type questions coming for term 1 examination. In this paper, you will have 40 questions for 40 marks. The time is 90 minutes. The question paper consists of 40 multiple choice objective type questions. All questions are compulsory. Every question has 4 choices for its answers A, B, C and D, and only one of them is correct answer. Select the one you consider to be the most appropriate answer among the 4 choices. Each correct answer will carry 1 mark and there will be no negative marking for the wrong answer. I would also like to add that answer each and every question. Do not leave any question because there are no negative markings, and you can answer each and every question because you will be given 4 choices or 4 options. One of them is definitely the answer. Even if you do not know which one is the answer, whichever one you feel that may be the answer, you can choose one of them. If it happens to be the correct choice, you will get full mark. If it's wrong, then you will not get any marks, but you will also not get any negative marking. So do not leave any question, attempt all of them. And also, when you get a question paper in front of you, read all the instructions. If the paper says that there should be 40 questions, then check that your paper has got 40 questions. Turn the paper both the sides to see if you have got printed material or not. Okay. Once you have scanned through the paper, begin answering. Let's begin. So the first question is, calcium oxide reacts vigorously with water to produce slake lime. The molecular formula of slake lime is dash. The answer is calcium hydroxide. Next. Second question, when lead nitrate powder is heated in a boiling tube, brown fumes of dash is emitted. The answer is nitrogen dioxide. Question 3. If a substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen during a chemical reaction, it is said to be oxidized. This is a type of a redox reaction that we are speaking about. This is an example of a redox reaction in which ammonia is getting oxidized to nitrogen. Hydrogen atoms are being lost by this ammonia to yield or to give or obtain nitrogen atom. Question 4. In the reaction, copper reacts with X amounts of nitric acid to give copper nitrate and Y amount of nitrogen dioxide along with water. We need to find X and Y mentioned over here. For that, we will have to balance the reaction and get the answer. The answer is 4 times of nitric acid and 2 times of nitrogen dioxide. Question 5. The sodium compound which is used for softening hard water is sodium carbonate. Question 6. From the following, an example of olfactory indicator is dash. Answer is vanilla. Onion, vanilla extract are examples of olfactory indicators. That means where you can get an indication about whether it is an acid or base based on the smell. If you can retain the smell, then it is an acid. If you lose the smell, then it is a base. Question 7. Gas generated by all acids on reacting with metals is dash. Answer is hydrogen. When metals like zinc react with acids like sulfuric acid, there is an evolution of hydrogen gas. Question 8. pH paper on testing with a solution X show dark blue color. Therefore, the solution X should be dash. Answer is very alkaline. When a red litmus paper is dipped in an alkaline solution or a base solution, then the red litmus paper immediately turns blue. Question 9. Care must be taken while mixing nitric acid or sulfuric acid with water because dash. The choices given in front of us are: it results in decrease in concentration of ions, the process is highly exothermic, that means a lot of heat is given out, it generates hydrogen ions in aqueous solution, or it generates hydroxyl ions. We can rule out generation of hydroxyl ions because we are talking about acids. Well, there are acids, so hydrogen ions will be generated, but that is not the cause of concern here. Results in decrease in concentration of ions? No, that doesn't happen. Exothermic, yes. See, we are talking about these acids which are concentrated in nature, so they are already fuming. When you mix it with water, it ends up being an exothermic reaction. That means in this process heat is given out. So such dilution should be carried out under supervision, or if you have expertise in them, because it's a very dangerous process, and if accidentally if you pour water into acid rather than pouring acid into water, okay, then in that case it could splash on you and cause you burns. So remember, never to add water to acid. Acid has to be added to water, but in small limited amount, and you have to keep diluting it. Question 10. The ability of metals to be drawn into thin wires is called ductility. Okay, so here you have a copper metal and it shows that it can be drawn into a copper wire. Malleability is the ability of metals to be drawn into thin sheets, and luster refers to its shine, whereas sonorous refers to the ability of metals to make sounds. Question 11. An example of metal oxide which reacts with both acids and bases to produce salt and water is aluminium oxide. Aluminium oxide is a type of an amphoteric oxide. That means it behaves as an acid as well as a base. These two reactions tell you the story. Aluminium oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid. When an amphoteric oxide reacts with an acid, it behaves as a base to give you salt and water. Aluminium chloride is a salt. Similarly, when aluminium oxide reacts with sodium hydroxide, which is a base, here the aluminium oxide acts as an acid and hence gives you salt and water. Question 12. Metal sulfides are converted into metal oxides by heating strongly in the presence of excess air. This process is known as roasting. Method which is suitable for preventing rusting of an iron frying pan is applying coating of zinc. So when zinc is used to prevent rusting, we call that process as galvanization. So just coating a metal like iron or steel with a thin layer of zinc that protects the metal from corrosion. That is galvanization. Question 14. The gap between two neurons is called a synapse. It's just the gap between the two neurons. Question 15. The part of the brain that maintains the posture and balance of the body is cerebellum. Here. Question 16. The plant hormone that promotes cell division is cytokinins. Question 17. The growth of pollen grain towards ovules is an example of chemotropism. So this is an example where the pollen is deposited on top and then it forms a tube that goes all the way into the ovary. This is to transfer the male gametes from the pollen all the way into the ovary to meet the female gametes, and that's where fertilization takes place. Question 18. The hormone that regulates carbohydrates, proteins, fats and metabolism in the body is thyroxine. Question 19. Ramesh is extremely short as compared to his friend of his age. The gland that is responsible for his imbalance is pituitary gland. Okay, so that is what controls the growth hormone. Question 20. The anther contains pollen grains. You see, the anther is made up of pollen sacs, and the pollen sacs are filled with pollen grains. Question 21. Fertilization in human occurs in dash. The answer is fallopian tube. Over here, if you notice, the egg is released from the ovary during ovulation, and the sperm comes and meet the eggs over here. Once the egg and the sperm meets, that is, a zygote is formed, the fertilization product, and the zygote will then continue to divide, become multicellular, and as it does so, that means when it gets converted from a one-celled zygote to a multicellular embryo, the embryo goes and attaches itself to the wall of the uterus. That is called as an implantation, and then the embryo begins to develop or grow into a fetus, and finally the baby is delivered in 9 months time. Question 22. In amoeba, reproduction takes place by the fission of a mother amoeba into two new daughter amoebae. This mode of reproduction has got to be asexual reproduction. Question 23. The function of testis at puberty is, there are four statements given and two of them are correct. The combination of two are correct. First one says formation of germ cells, second one secretion of testosterone, third one development of placenta, and fourth secretion of estrogen. So we can rule out secretion of estrogen because estrogen refers to a female hormone. We are talking about testis, which is only present in males. Development of placenta also can be ruled out because placenta is the connection between the mother and the baby inside the uterus. So you're left with the first two, that is formation of germ cells. So here germ cells refers to the formation of sperms, and secretion of testosterone, the male hormone that is responsible for nourishment or development of the sperms and as well as other male characteristics at puberty. That is, the answer is A, 1 and 2, first two. Question 24. Which of the following method of contraception protects from acquiring sexually transmitted disease? We can rule out surgery because that is not a contraceptive method. Copper T is used to prevent pregnancy and cannot protect you from getting AIDS and bacterial sexually transmitted diseases. So also oral pills designed to prevent pregnancy. So the only one is condom, which has a dual role. It can prevent pregnancy and also protect you from sexually transmitted diseases, whether it is bacterial or viral. Question 25. The image shows the structure of a flower. There is a P marked over here. Which process will likely be disturbed or not occur if the label part is removed from the flower? So it's actually referring to the ovary. Now the choices given are formation of fruit, transport of pollen, formation of male germs. Ovary is a female part, so formation of male germ cells ruled out. Formation of pollen, which also occurs in an anther, which is a male part, that also is ruled out. Transport of pollen, the female organ of the flower does not take part in it, so that it's formation of fruit. Ovary develops into fruit, and the ovules develop into seeds. Question 26. Which of the following statements on the reproduction of humans is correct? Once again, 4 statements are given and combination of 2 or 3 are correct. Let's see which one. All eggs are fertilized externally. That we can rule out because fertilization of the egg takes place inside the fallopian tube, inside the female. One female egg can be fertilized by many cells. We can also rule this out because one female egg is fertilized only by one sperm. That leaves us with the two and they should be correct. After fertilization, embryo will develop into a young baby. Yes. Embryo grows into a fetus, fetus develops into a young baby. Males produce sperms and females produce eggs. That's correct. Those are the male germ cells and female germ cells. So the correct answer is 3 and 4. D is your correct option. Question 27. Coulomb is the standard international unit of charge. Question 28. A device that helps to maintain a potential difference across a conductor is a battery. Voltmeter is to measure the potential difference. Ammeter is for current, and switch is of course to make or break the circuit. There you go. So this is a battery maintaining the potential difference or the voltage across the two ends, and that helps in the flow of electrons, which in turn generates the current. Question 29. Two special characteristics of heater coil in an electric iron are. Answer is high resistivity and high melting point. Question 30. A car headlight bulb working on a 12-volt car battery draws a current of 0.5 amps. Therefore, the power of the bulb is dash. Let's look at the answer and the working. So, answer is 6 watt. Let's look at the working. So, voltage given is 12 volts. Current given is 0.5 amp. We need to find the power. So, this is the formula. 12 into 0.5 gives us 6 watt. Question 31. Two resistances are connected in series gives an equivalent resistance of 10 ohms. When connected in parallel, it gives 2.1 ohm. Then the individual resistance is got to be. So we'll look at the answer and we'll look at the working then. Answer is 7 ohm and 3 ohm. We'll look at the working. So effective resistance in series is 10 ohm. Effective resistance in parallel is 2.1 ohm. Now if we take 7 ohm and 3 ohm and put them in series, this is what we'll get, 10 ohms. If we put them in parallel, this is applying the formula in parallel, we get this 1 upon 7 plus 1 upon 3. So when we take the LCM, we get 7 plus 3 upon 21, that is 10 upon 21. And when we take the reciprocal to get the effective resistance in parallel, we get 21 upon 10, which is 2.1 ohms. So 7 ohms and 3 ohms are the two resistances. Question 32. The current flowing through the 20 ohm resistor in the following circuit is dash. In this circuit, we see that there are 4 resistances. We are given a combined resistance of or effective resistance of 20 ohms. Here we see there's a battery of 24 volts as well. Okay. So we are given voltage, we are given resistance, we need to find current. So we need to apply Ohm's law for that. Look at the correct answer, 1.2 amps. We'll see at the working. The resistance 20 ohm, voltage 24 volt, current is what we need to find out. Applying Ohm's law, we get V equal to IR, I equal to V upon R. So that's 24 upon 20, which we get as 1.2 amp. Question 33. A rectangular coil of copper wire is rotated in a magnetic field. The direction of induced current changes once in each half revolution. Question 34. At the time of short circuit, the current in the circuit dash increases heavily. Question 35. To convert an AC generator into a DC generator, the choice is given: a split ring type commutator must be used, slip rings and brushes must be changed, a strong magnetic field has to be used, or a rectangular wire loop has to be used? Let's look at the answer. A split ring type commutator must be used. Look at the differences actually. There we'll come to know. So here you have a look at the left hand side is an AC generator, and on the right hand side you have a DC generator. To convert an AC generator to DC. Now if you look at the AC generator here, you have slip rings with carbon brushes, and in DC generator you have split ring commutator, okay, with carbon brushes. So you see, if you need to change from an AC generator to a DC generator, we will have to change the slip rings into split ring commutators. That's where we will be able to obtain a DC generator. Question 36. The most important safety method used for protecting home appliances from short circuit and overloading is use of a fuse. Question 37. In Fleming's right hand rule, the middle finger will show the direction of dash. The answer is induced current. This is Fleming's right hand rule. The thumb shows the thrust of motion. The index finger shows the magnetic field, and the middle finger shows the direction of induced current. Question 38. A windmill to function, the minimum wind velocity required is dash. Answer is more than 15 km per hour. Question 39. A student constructed a box type solar cooker. He noticed that the greenhouse effect produced by it is very effective. The part of the solar cooker responsible for greenhouse effect is glass sheet. Have a look at this box type solar cooker. Sun's rays are reflected through the glass sheet onto the food bowl. Okay, the reflector does the job of reflecting the solar radiation through the glass sheet. But what the glass sheet also does, it allows the sun's rays or the solar radiation to pass in through it to heat up this food, but the heat that is generated is trapped by this glass sheet, which means the heat cannot pass through or is not allowed to escape, thereby increasing the temperature in this metallic box, so thereby acting like a greenhouse system or effect. Question 40, the last question. In nuclear electricity generation, the process used currently involves fission of uranium-325 nuclei bombarding with neutrons. Have a look at this diagram. It will show you neutron, which is then splitting the uranium nuclei. Okay, it's actually bombarding the uranium nuclei, which is then splitting up into the more neutrons and also nuclei which are needed, okay, and also as nuclear waste. So two fission products are created which are unstable and release energy, keep releasing energy. Actually, it's a chain reaction that keeps proceeding. Okay, some part of it is a nuclear waste and some part is a useful form of energy which can be harnessed for either peaceful purposes or for non-peaceful purposes as well. Okay, so with this we come to an end of this science model paper MCQ type questions for term 1. If you have liked watching this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends as well as your classmates, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel, and even your prelim papers will be solved and even the board papers will be solved. So keep watching as you have watched this entire video. Many more videos will be coming up soon. Thank you for watching.